All right, let's talk about Dak Prescott and the Cowboys going up against Rashawn Gary and the Green Bay Packers here. It's Mike McCarthy versus Joe Barry, a masterclass here, which, in fairness to Mike McCarthy, Cowboys have had a really good offensive season. If we look at some Pro Football Focus grades from, each specific category, so for the Dallas offense, Prescott has been PFF's second highest graded passer. And again, that's just passing, not taking rushing into account, but still. And they've had the fifth best receiving core. So a lot of that has been due to the strength of CeeDee Lamb having, obviously an incredible season. But they have had other players step up and do all right. Specifically, Brandon Cooks, especially as of late, has come up and done some nice things. And Jake Ferguson, those are really their, secondary options. I would say those two guys. Every now and then you get a Jalen Tolbert contribution. Every now and then you get a Michael Gallup contribution. But it's really those three guys. Also for Green Bay, coverage maybe is a little bit surprising that it is still 17th. It is not maybe the disaster you might have expected, although the overall numbers are still significantly worse. It's been still just a fringe bottom 10 defense, pass defense-wise. So maybe not quite as bad as you might think. As for the pass rush versus pass blocking, both are solid here. Again, maybe a surprise that Dallas hasn't graded as well as you might have expected with them this season. Green Bay, Rashawn Gary is awesome. Preston Smith is good. And then it's kind of, Kenny Clark's good. Like Devontae Wyatt's had a solid season. Like, TJ Slayton is solid as well in the interior. Just a lot of guys who are just, they can do what they can do relatively well. And because of that, that's why they're kind of where they're at. Again, usually it's almost, if you have good players, that still would only get you like 14th. There's a lot of good pass rushing teams out there. So that's just where it is. Dallas, again, it's kind of been really one of the tackle spots, which just is kind of, a key here as, Tyron Smith is obviously awesome. He has missed a little bit of time, though, as of late, so maybe there's some concern there. You also have, Terrence Steele, who's been a starter, just he hasn't been good. So potential opportunity, actually, to get some pressure off the edge. And then for the run blocking and versus run defense, slight advantage Dallas there. 20th best run defense for Green Bay, 12th best run blocking, 15th best running, but nothing massive there. Again, I do think this is the kind of game that probably will be won through the air. Let's talk about Green Bay's defense. Also, I should have mentioned this at the top of this video. I have already uploaded a video about the other side of things, about how the Packers offense will attack the Cowboys defense. You don't have to watch them in order, although it will kind of, at the end, it will kind of spoil, exactly what my conclusion was, but you can watch them out of order, it's fine. But, this play is, I think, an interesting one because, listen, everyone's talking about how bad the Joe Barry Packers defense is. They did slow down what's still been a good offense, even if it's not as good as it usually is. The Chiefs' offense, they still were able to slow down Mahomes, who you could argue has somewhat of a similar makeup to Dallas. They have the one dominant receiver, Travis Kelce. They have a good quarterback. On this play, a lot of what the Packers do is they do like to do stuff like this cover 3 zone blitz type situation. Watch as when you're going to see Mahomes takes the snap, he looks over the middle, and you see that Kelce right there, a lot of attention is being brought on Kelce. Kind of this over middle stuff. They do, I feel, for the most part, make a conscious effort to, whoever the opponent's number one guy is, that's the guy that you have to, take away, which maybe you could argue is an advantage in this scenario because CeeDee Lamb obviously does so much. You see those two players right there for, Kansas City. It really sometimes comes down to, can you get one of those players in that middle of the field area to get open? Here, Mahomes decides, I'm just going to throw a check down, and that's certainly a win. If, for Green Bay, if you can get your linebackers to move in and try and tackle Tony Pollard as many times in this game as you can, that's going to be a win. It just is. But here's the issue for Green Bay is, obviously there was that kind of, at this point, infamous, Baker Mayfield game for them, where, again, going to be kind of a similar thing, that over-the-middle stuff, right? That's what we're talking about. Watch as when Mayfield takes the snap. For Green Bay, they don't pick up Cade Otton on this play, and just look at how much space there can be there sometimes. That area can be wide open, and you better believe that Dallas is going to attack it. Maybe it won't be with CeeDee Lamb, but you can have Brandon Cooks there. He's very good at that, and Jake Ferguson is very good at that, and I do expect, I expect a big day from Jake Ferguson. I just do. As you see, completed catch. This is a concern that you have to have if you're a Packers fan, is this kind of stuff. Because, let's go over here. I brought up Jake Ferguson. Okay, well, how well can they do in this type of situation? Well, It's, cover 2 zone right here. You see the route Ferguson is running, and watch as when Prescott takes the snap. Ferguson runs this route so well. It's a good concept by Dallas. They got the middle linebacker out of position, and you see just how open Ferguson is. Prescott makes this throw. Ferguson is able to pick up a big chunk play. So, that's something that can happen. That's something on the table here for Green Bay and for Dallas that I think will kind of be something where if Dallas can hit on those, which I expect them to hit on, that's how their offense can really move here. On top of this, here's another aspect that I think is notable is, I talked about maybe the pass rush is a way to get the Prescott, and I do think that's the way. I think the pass rush has to have a big day. It just does. But watch how when Prescott takes a snap on this one, you see that, first off, pass rush didn't really come here, so you have that. But Prescott doesn't really love what he sees either. Pressure is now finally gotten to Prescott. And here's the thing that I think is really underrated about his game. Watch him kind of scramble outside the pocket. Eventually, he's going to find CeeDee Lamb. He flips it to CeeDee Lamb, and they get a touchdown here. This is something that they can also do. It's really good stuff from Prescott, and he's been doing this all year. Prescott's had a great season, and a lot of people maybe not paying close enough attention might think, it's Dak Prescott. No, this is a different Dak Prescott. It is, and because of that, again, with Green Bay, I feel like when plays break down, sometimes they give up wide open players, and I would be concerned about that as well if I'm a Packers fan. I just would. So this is the final predictions page here, as Green Bay defensively this season has given up 2.09 points per drive, which is on the low side. It's not a disaster, but it's certainly, I guess, on the high side, I should say. It's, not great numbers, but not maybe the worst in the league either. Meanwhile, Dallas actually has one of the best in football with 2.75 offensive points per drive. That's among the best in football. It just is. My prediction is I'm going, maybe this is a bit harsh for Green Bay. I am going 3 points per drive in this one for the Cowboys. Listen, I don't trust the Joe Barry defense. And while I think maybe at times it's gotten a bit too heavily criticized, I think this is a perfect matchup for the Cowboys. I just do. That means my final prediction is a 22-30 point game. I'm predicting kind of 8-point difference, which is a good amount for a prediction. It is. But again, I do think there is upset potential. It's the weirdest thing in sports where we kind of accept every week, there's always these crazy upsets. Whoa, how did that happen? Right? Arizona beat Dallas this season, so why can't Green Bay do it? Of course Green Bay could do it. And again, Arizona beat Dallas without Kyler Murray, right? So again, if you catch Dallas on their worst day, well, of course you can win. And maybe if Green Bay plays their best game, they can get it done. I just don't trust this defense, and especially given the matchup, I do think there is a chance that Love has a good day and is able to put up points even against a good defense. I just don't really, I'm not betting on the other side of things that happen. But hey, I've been wrong before. So those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.